Option B for the silver level challenge is to make a model of an alloy wheel using some other tools in SolidWorks. So go up to File, New, choose Part and click OK. And then I want you to draw this exactly as I do. So we're going to start with a sketch, and I would like you to get the line tool and click on the, it doesn't really matter, but let's go the top plane for this one. And from the origin, which is this bit here in the middle where the arrows are, we're going to draw to the left, and we're going to make this, let's think, how big do we want to make this wheel? So I'm going to make this 25. So I'm going to draw a line. In fact, I'm just going to draw a line, right click, select, and then I'm going to go and put a smart dimension on that line and make it 25. It's important you do this line first because everything else is going to be based off that. Okay. That's the right size. I'm going to go back and get my line tool now. And what I'm going to do is some other bits. So I'm going to draw a straight line up. And I'm just going to roughly draw this kind of shape. Hopefully you can see that. So it looks a little bit like a C shape until it forms an outline. So we're going all round. Don't worry about the sizes for now. Just make sure it joins back up to the start. You can put sizes on it if you want. You don't really need to for this project. So as long as it looks broadly similar to that, I might be tempted to make this piece slightly wider. I'm going to make that a little bit narrower. You'll see why in a minute. Anyway, something like that is good. When you're done, click Return. So this little blue arrow that up there. And rotate your view by holding and clicking the middle mouse button in. And now we're going to revolve this. So if you didn't watch the other video, revolving is a new tool. So we go to the Features tab and you've got Revolve Boss Base. Now what it may or may not do is automatically select it. If it doesn't matter, but you all need to go, you see this box called Axis of Revolution is highlighted. While that's highlighted, you're going to click this vertical line here, and this is where the magic happens. What that has done is taken that weird rectangle, spun it around this like there's a skewer in it. So it's spun 360 degrees. If I do 90, it'll make it a bit clearer what it's done. Look, so it's spun it around, okay? And we obviously want it 360 degrees because this is going to form the base of our wheel. So click the tick when you're happy. Good. Right, we've got the start of our wheel. We're now going to add some details to it to make it a bit more interesting. So click on this face now and right click normal to. So we're looking end on at it. And what I'd like you to do now is to go to Sketch and draw yourself a design for a spoke. So what I mean by that, we're going to make a hole as a spoke. So I'm going to draw, and it's just completely down to you. I'm going to do a line like that. Right click, select. I'm going to draw an arc. So I'm going to go click, click, do an arc like that, just so it sort of follows the curve. And then I'm going to go and get the spline tool. Now this bit is completely down to you, as long as you make yourself some kind of cool design. Okay, so spline tool, by the way, allows you just to click multiple times, and every time you click it follows a curve. All right, and what I'm going to do is join that up to the start. Okay, when I've placed my last click, you have to right click, select, and just make sure it forms a solid block like that. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to make that a hole through this object. This is just one spoke at the moment, so I'm going to click this one up here to go back, and I'm going to go to Feature, and you'll remember from video 1, extruded cut is how you make a hole. So it's saying select a plane, blah, 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 just pick a line on that bit you drew. You have to pick one of the lines so it understands what it's cutting. And apologise for the lag because I'm running this on remote apps, but you'll see that's cutting all the way through our object, which is fine. So we just click the tick and we've made one spoke hole. Now this is where it gets cool. We're now going to pattern that. So rather than have to draw it lots of times for all the spokes, we're going to pattern it. So under linear pattern up here, you've got an arrow and you've also got circular pattern. Choose that. Now the first thing it wants is features you want to pattern. So you have to, this is a little bit tricky, to find the feature you have to go to this little arrow up here, and here's your history, and this one called cut extrude 1 is the feature we want to pattern or copy. So choose that, and now up here where it says direction, click in that box so it goes blue, and now just pick anything round on your object, so that outside edge is good. Okay, you can see what it's starting to do. If we put in this box or tick equal spacing and leave it at 360 degrees, we can then change by typing how many spokes we have. So if I click 4, we get 4. If I do 7, we get 7 spokes. Now we may get 8 in there. I don't think we'll get many more in there without weakening it, so I'm going to leave it at 8 spokes, click the tick, ta-da. All right, I'm going to make my wheel even more interesting now, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to sketch on there, so sketch on there, right click, look at, or sorry, normal to, and I'm going to go and draw the line tool, and I'm just going to draw a triangle in this zone up here just to put a bit more of a gap in it, and I'm going to do a wonky bit like that. Okay, so I've done that, return, so same method as you did before. I need to go feature, where's it gone? Extruded cut, click a line so it knows what I'm cutting. Yes, that's right, click the tick. Okay, and now all I've got left to do is pattern that. So under linear pattern, we choose circular. It wants the feature, so we go to this little arrow up here and find, this time it will be cut extrude number 2, not 1, because that's the one we've already do, cut extrude 2. Need to go to direction and pick something round, so I'm just going to pick the middle this time. It's already saved 8 and 360 from the last time. That looks right, so click the tick, bosh. Okay, so there is my wheel. Now I'm going to do a few other things to make it a bit cooler. I am going to go to fillet up here, and I'm going to set fillet to 2. You can mess around with this number, and I'm just going to click on that. And you see what that's done? That's kind of rounded my wheel. And I'm going to click on this one as well, and I think that'll do it, and I'm going to click the tick. So this is looking a little bit more pro. And the last thing I want to do before I print this, I'm going to make a hole through this. So I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to choose sketch. I'm actually going to right click on this blue bit as well and choose normal to, because that adjusts my view so I'm looking at it. And then I'm just going to draw a circle from the origin. This is why we always draw from that red line at the start of any drawing. Drag out a circle, and it's down to you if you put a size on it. I'm just going to put a smart dimension and make it 6, because I know at school we have 6mm bolts. So if I wanted to bolt this onto something, I know that I could put a bolt throughout and make it an axle. Click the blue arrow when you're done sketching, rotate your view so you can see what's going on, and then you've got feature. We want to make a hole, so it's going to be extruded cut. Tell it what you want to cut, which is that. Sometimes it selects it for you, by the way. If it's already gone yellow, you don't need to select it, but choose it, make sure it's passing all the way through, and click the tick. Bosh. Okay, that is your wheel. Feel free to experiment with that. You could even put fillets and whatever on these. You could build extra bits in, as long as you make it to the dimensions I gave you at the start, so no more than 25 from the center. So if we go right back to that first sketch, you'll see what I mean. Do you remember when we drew this original shape, we made it 25? That will obviously make it 50 overall, which is about the size of a small coaster, I suppose. I don't want to make these huge because, again, they take ages to print, but it's just to demonstrate the technology. Okay, right, the rest of it you know. Just remember to save your file, and in order to 3D print it, you need to save it as a STL file. Remember, it must be an STL. So call it your name, Rob Wheel STL. Make sure STL is in the type box down there, and then save. Click yes, and you are done. Load that into Cura as per video 2, which I've already shown you. You probably don't need to use support material for this model, so leave that unchecked in Cura, but well done. That is the other option for the silver level challenge. Get it printing, and if you've done that, you've done 2 tiers. Well done, good on you.